Hi guys, how are we doing here? We are at the Kalamazoo Open, presented by Discover Kalamazoo and obviously Kalamazoo, Michigan.
We have Andy Marwede here, along with
fellow TOWCH twin Reid Frescura, with the wonderful BlueGil Disc Golf course in Wayland, Michigan, a very well-known course in Michigan, private as well.
This is going to be the TOWCH Twins' first coverage commentary.
Let's go, baby. Just to clarify, this is the OB for the course. Notice hole 4 has no OBs listed left or right for that matter, using ropes.
Starting off first, Reid Frescura with the hot round 62 1040 rated. Hometown Kalamazoo, kinda.
We got Tim Barham. He shot a 63 first round. He's an East Sider, but he tears it up in Michigan. Very well known, renowned. He's got a lot of big wins.
Who's this guy? Andy Marwede. Round 1 score of 64. What a goofball.
That was a good one. Dan Treece, hometown hero of Grand Rapids, longtime player, very well known.
As we take a look here at round 1 standings, we have Reid Frescura shooting the hot round, closely followed by Tim Barham, Dan Treece, and myself.
Yeah, if you look at 8th place, it's only 6 strokes off of the hot round, so basically it's anybody's race at this point.
Alright, so we're starting here with hole 1, par 3, 475 feet, slightly downhill, definitely trouble on both sides, early right and deep left is not good here. So anything straight, you want to throw probably a flippy driver, possibly a fairway driver if you had a big arm. Looking to maybe get a circle 2 putt if you're lucky, and at worst take a par and move on.
The old Chain Star Pros, can't go wrong there. Teeing off first, we have Reid Frescura. A nice flip up, looks to be a possibly a crank. Oh, he gets saved.
That's what that hit.
Wow.
Next we have Tim Barham, probably also throwing a crank, I'm not sure though.
Not enough on it.
It's gonna hyzer out a little bit left, not the best spot, but Tim is known as the scrambler, so
there's some backdoor action.
I got faith in him.
Got Dan Treece on the tee. Oh!
Looks like a pretty straight fairway driver. Right in the middle, looks like pretty easy position for a par. Back of the box, throwing a C-line FD right here. Turn over a little bit, not quite enough. Just off the fairway, about 150 feet from the pin.
Andrew Marwede with a nice little pro pig upshot. Yeah, the number 2 pro pig thrower in the world.
Yeah, Reid throwing his Pro D Challenger. He's been known to throw these in sometimes. Not today, though.
Just laying up, playing safe.
Easy 3. He's not happy about it, though.
Oh, look at that backdoor.
Going for the skip shot. Gets caught up in some shrubs. He'll probably have a circle 2 putt, though.
Got Dan here. Looks like a gauntlet.
Asking for it to go right. Should be alright, though.
Doesn't seem happy.
Got Tim from about 45 feet. Probably a little Anheuser putt. Just off to the left. Probably be tabbed in for a 4 from there, I believe.
Yeah, it's a pretty protected green.
Dan connects for the 3 from about 20 feet, 15 feet. Tim coming back for the 4, sneaks it in there.
Oh, can't decide where he wants to put his putter. Classic anti-Marwede straddle. Easy 3.
First putt of the day, I'm happy. And last but not least, Reid tapping in for the 3. Looking back, making sure. Remember to grab his disc. All right, so hole 2, par 3, 360 feet. We have OB on the left where the tree line is, OB on the right, and it goes all the way down, and there's even OB behind the basket, a good like 60 feet or so. So main objective for this hole is keep it in bounds, hope to have a putt.
It's definitely one of the holes that would be nice to get early in the round.
I agree.
I like the top band. So pretty.
All right, so first we got Reid. Looks like he's throwing an Undertaker. Hyzer flip action. A little low, maybe. No, looks pretty good to me. About 35 feet from the pin.
Looks like a bit of an early release. That will not be the best.
That is out of bounds. So we'll be shooting 3 from there.
Oh, let me guess, that was a Firebird?
That was a Sexton Firebird, correct?
Of course. Beautiful shot, laces it right under the pin. No surprise from Andrew Marwede.
We have Tim throwing a Buzz SS. Looking like it's going left, but it's a Buzz SS and doing what Buzz SS things do. So nice shot from Tim, right inside the circle, about 20-25 feet. We got Dan trying to save par from about 80 feet or so. Gives it a nice run, but he'll be tapping in for the 4.
Shorts look a little tight.
Was expecting shorter shorts, but maybe for round 3. You never know. Good putt, though. It converts for the 2. We got Tim tapping in for the 2.
Easy.
Doesn't look happy for some reason. Maybe you wanted it closer. Believe that's a 4 for Dan. And then I'm tapping in for the 2. So we got 3 2s and 1 4.
So this is hole 3, 240 feet. It's a very narrow fairway, lined on both sides by rows of pine trees. It's known as the bowling pin hole, obviously because there's a bowling pin on top of it. I've heard rumor that during leagues you get a cash bonus if you hit it, but yeah, it's a tough hole, tight hole.
The gap's about 4 feet, maybe even less if you can't tell. But if you get about 3/4 of the way down, you're pretty content with your shot. We got Reid here throwing his challenger. Pulls a little bit, though. Stays in the middle of the fairway, so he'll have a chance to save par.
Andrew with that beautiful pro pig shot. It's his go-to approach disc.
Bank shot, I called it on the tee. A little deep, but inside the circle. Tim throwing probably also Pro D Challenger.
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
Hits pretty early, and I believe that kicked out of bounds. The whole left side is out of bounds up until the pin. We got Dan throwing straight putter. Hits the very last tree. Looks pretty good, though, inside the circle.
His pointing just isn't working out to his advantage today.
Not yet. Reid with the same disc, trying to throw it in.
Just laying up. It's a tough hole.
All right, easy 3 from Reid there. Tim going with the sidearm zone. So Tim was actually inbounds, so that would be his second shot. So it looks like he'll convert for the 3, most likely.
Beautiful 2 by Andy.
We got Tim here for the 3 from about 20 feet. Stays in there.
It's a close one.
It's like Dan has a kind of a tricky putt going on the knee. Makes good from about 20 feet as well. for the 2, and Reid tapping in for the 3. Moving on to hole 4, 710 feet. Plays more of a par 4. If you're getting a 3 on this hole, you're walking away pretty happy. The right side's jail, more or less, so you definitely don't want to go right. To the left of the field, it's a wide open field, so no worries there. Trying to throw a nice 400 foot or so shot out to the middle. Then you have about a 300 foot up shot up and over this little garden, which does play OB. Trying not to go too far to the right because that fence line is also OB. Very protected green. Probably one of the harder holes on the course.
Ooh, Andy with a nice backhand. It's a little low coming out. Should still give him a decent approach.
Got Dan throwing a Raider, overstable distance driver, keeping it nice and low out of the wind. There was a little bit of a headwind, if I remember right, coming straight up towards us. So very nice shot, middle of the fairway. He'll have a nice straight look to the basket.
Oh God, don't watch.
Beef. I think that was his Mantis. Oh no, Force.
That was a nuke, but
all right,
it doesn't matter.
Goes far, but unfortunately a little bit right, so he'll have a tricky out from there. Tim throwing a nice shot. Hyzer flip, flexing out. Very nice shot by Tim.
All right, we got Dan about to throw here. Nice turnover through the gap. Clears the nice OB garden and parks the hole. Nice putt.
It's a great shot from Dan there. Next, I think, that's me. Throwing the Rock X3. Hyzering out a little early. It's pretty far away from the basket, but
should still be a putt for Andy. It's well within his range.
Got Reid here, thrown out of the tree line. Looks like he's throwing a flex shot with his Raptor. Little left, might be kind of tucked back in by that tree line, but we'll see what he can do from there.
Beautiful 10-year buzz Tim's got. See what he can do with it.
Looks to be Hyzering kind of early. Stays pretty clean though.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
Nice friendly roll to basket, about 25, 30 feet. Looks like Reid's going with a forehand cut roller, as he's been known to do.
Oh.
Gets through pretty far, actually. Just left of that OB there. Probably about 45 feet to the basket.
Wow. Nice 60-footer by Andy. You gotta jog that bad boy again.
60 foot. Throwing it up, hoping a prayer.
Man.
Somehow goes in.
Just a sniper with that.
Got Reid here. Looks a little closer than that, maybe 40 feet or so. Just a little bit low.
Textbook big putted.
Got Tim here from about 25 feet.
Easy.
Tim doesn't miss those.
I got Dan Treece. Oh, that was a weird catch.
It's in there though. Easy 3 from Dan there. Great hole. Got Reid tapping in for the 5. All right, we got hole 5 here, par 3, 303 feet. From the tee pad, for a right-handed backhand player, it's going to be a turnover shot, most likely with a mid-range, maybe a putter, but it definitely needs to come back because about 15 feet right of the basket, it goes straight downhill. And when I mean downhill, like 100 feet downhill, so.
You will not have a fun time walking up.
So looks like I'm up first, throwing the Metal Flake MD3 here. Not quite turned over enough. It's the last tree there. Probably about 60 feet, but death putt for sure.
Got Dan Treece with what looks to be a warship. Oh, it's coming in very nicely.
Great shot by Dan. If you could pick a hole to play, if you were Dan, this would be the hole. Nice straight mid-range shot for him. Great shot by him. We got Tim here throwing, I believe, his Tour Series Buzz SS. Is that correct, Reid?
Oh yeah, that's the one. He does not miss lines with this disc.
And if you buy one from Discraft.com, help Tim out on tour, I'm sure you won't miss lines either. So there you go, Tim. You're welcome. About 45, 50 feet away from the basket, looking at a death putt as well. Maybe a little closer than that. You got Reid throwing a Buzz SS.
Yeah, it just flipped up a little bit much out of the hand, but
Gets all the way through.
so lucky.
Looking about 25 feet. Looks like I'm way back there in the left corner. Just laying up here. Not really worried about trying to make a big putt. Easy 3. Move on to the next hole. Got Tim from about circle's edge, maybe just outside.
Ooh, just hit the top of the nub.
You can tell he's upset. Looked good out of the hands. He's going to have to settle with a 3. Dan from about 25 feet.
Some bad basket karma going on.
Reid might be able to get a stroke on the card. He does. Reid taps in for the 2 from about 15, 20 feet. Great birdie by Reid. Everyone else is looking to just tap in their 3 from here. Even though it's one of the shorter holes on the course, it's definitely one of the trickier ones, so you're not really too mad about 3 and moving on. So it looks like everyone else is going to be tapping in for their 3. Got Dan tapping in about 10 feet. Tim's going to do the same. And moving on.
We have hole 6, par 3, 279 feet. The play here is a really nice righty backhand turnover or a righty forehand. It is a death putt basically behind the basket, so you do want to be sure to watch out for that. Not to mention it's raised, so yeah, if you miss your putt, you better hope you hit a tree. But yeah, the play is to, what you want to do is play just to you want to aim for the power pole basically, or you can play down the middle, but right here I threw a ESP Wasp and felt pretty good out of the hand.
And a very good result by Reid, leaving him about 20 feet or so from the basket, coming back up the hill, which is definitely the putt you'd rather have.
Is that a Firebird you got, Andy?
Yeah, another Sexton Firebird.
Of course.
Taking the inside route. Leaving it a little bit short. Not really the shot I was looking for. Probably about 40 feet from the basket.
It'll be a tough putt, but there's that righty turnover we were seeing. Looks like the wind's kind of messing with it. Should be an easy 3 from there.
Got Tim throwing the Kong here, forehand. Leaving it nice and wide. Spike hyzer. Sticking it nice and close to the basket. About 15 feet or so. Should be an easy deuce for Tim. We got Dan here trying to find a way just to get close to the basket. Salvage a par. Pretty tricky shot actually, but seems to
well done.
execute it pretty well.
Oh baby, let's see what he's got.
So there's a couple trees in the way, which is why I'd show a straddle putt.
Oh,
Just to the right, but
tree saved you, son.
I'm sure it would have stayed close. I had faith. Reid here tapping in the...
Oh, God.
Never mind. Seems to be tapping in the 3.
Laying up.
Yeah, smart choice. Got Tim here. Nice 2 from Tim from about 20 feet. Looks like he's going to be taking a stroke on the card as well. We got Dan here from 10 feet tapping in the 3. I'm also tapping in the 3. It's definitely a hard 2, but definitely one you're looking to get. It's not necessarily the hardest hole, but it's mostly the basket position. He doesn't look too happy there.
So sick.
Moving on. We got hole 7 here, par 3, 410 feet. Nice open shot here. Usually gets pretty windy on this hole because it's the most open, but just throw a hyzer, try to get to circle 1, make your putt. Got a nice elevated basket about 6 or 7 feet up in the air, so don't listen to that windmill. It's pretty windy right now, so
it'll work, yeah. Yeah, Tim with a nice flip up hyzer. Looks to be a little to the right, but it should still finish pretty nicely with a nice putt. Doesn't look too happy about that.
Should be about circle's edge though, 35 feet at the most. Next up we got Reid. So a nice wide hyzer, plenty of distance. Looks like he's hanging out by Tim, maybe a little bit closer. Circle 1 for sure.
What was that you threw?
It's a Star Destroyer. 170 grams because, I got that weak arm, but about 45 feet from the basket. It'll be a putt, but not too pleased. Dan trying to keep it low, keep it out of the wind, but got turned over a little bit. He'll be shooting his up shot for 2, hoping to get up and down for the par. That should work.
Oh my goodness. Nice deuce by Andrew.
I had to go straddle putt here because that fence was kind of in the way.
Just perfect.
Snuck it in there, right side.
Let's see if Tim can match. Oh, he does. Elevated basket, no problem for Mr. Barham. It's that Discraft plastic, man. Those chalies just go in.
We got Reid here. About 25 feet or so. Good 2 from Reid. And we got Dan here tapping in for the 3.
Yeah, those elevated baskets are always a little bit of a butt clencher, I'd say. I know every time I walk up to my putts.
Alrighty, got hole 8 here, par 3 again, 305 feet. The basket's over to the right where that American flag is. The shot definitely is for a lefty, just a nice backhand hyzer. For the righty, most people are going to be throwing a forehand. Out and around that first tree there is actually OB about 10 feet behind the basket, right where that road is, so the miss is to leave it a little bit short. Got Tim up first, throwing the Kong. Trying to go just to the outside of that first tree you see there.
He's trying to play for the skip this round. Hit that early tree.
Kind of an unfortunate roll, but definitely still circle 1, so nice shot by him.
That good old ESP Wasp. A little low for my liking, but it worked out.
Got another Sexton Firebird here.
Ooh, it's looking very nice out of the hand. It's that same tree.
Still right there though, circle 1. Got 3 nice shots in a row. Dan's gonna take the backhand route.
Oh, loses the sunglasses.
He's got so much power. Sunglasses flying off his head.
I like how he just plays it off like nothing happened.
Great shot by Dan. 20 feet from the basket. Got Tim up first. Just inside circle's edge.
Yup.
Dead center. Got Dan for his 2. 18 feet, no problem.
Looks pretty stoked about that one.
Pro side not catching. Doesn't look too happy, but he'll have to manage a 3 there.
Nice 2 by Andy.
Shades on. That means you know it's business time for Reid. So,
Is that a TOWCH on that bag?
what is a TOWCH, Reid? Can you explain?
Well, a TOWCH is just the best carrying device for discs if you don't have enough disc space in your bag.
Towel and a pouch combined. So if you want to buy one of those, support me and Reid's tour, hit us up. All right, so we got hole 9 here, par 3, 204 feet, straight downhill. The whole entire hill plays as OB, so you have to go all the way down the hill. Otherwise, you proceed to a drop zone, which is about 55, 60 feet away. So main objective here is to get all the way down to the hill, give yourself a putt. Not the easiest hole, but definitely one that you're looking to get. We got Tim here throwing a flex zone sidearm. Looks a little bit right, but I think it's scooted up there. Yep, Tim's happy with it.
Another forehand here. It says beefier pro pig, but seems to have turned it. Oh. It's looking good, and it just took a bad kick. Maybe OB.
Yeah, it's OB. Kind of an unfortunate roll, but with that much hyzer angle, rolls can happen. You got Dan here throwing a straight putter. Hyzer's out just a little bit. I think that also went OB.
You got a Z-Flex ringer here.
Great shot by Reid. Leaves him about 15 feet or so from the basket. So this is the drop zone here. Yeah, about 60 feet. Putting for a 3. Give it a bid, little right side. Kind of a roll, actually, so have a little tester putt coming back. Got Dan doing his quick routine here, as he's known to do.
I love the cigarette in the hand, though. It's legendary.
Not happy with that putt, but he'll be tapping in for the 4. We got Tim here for the 2, about 20 feet away. Surprising, but dead center. Good hole for Tim. Myself coming back for the 4. And Dan also coming back for the 4. Eventually, you might get the Reid shot. There he is. You got Reid tapping in for the 2. So you got 2 2s and 2 4s here. That's kind of what happens on this hole too. Pretty much you park it and get your 2, or you go B and take your 4. So.
All right, we got hole 10, 280 feet. It plays over 2 ponds. The initial pond, which is the easiest to get over. Then you got the second pond, which comes more into play. A lot of righties like to throw a mid-range and just have it flip up and come back to slight hyzer.
That hill does play as a backstop too, so the play definitely is try to give it a little bit of ace run, maybe hit the backside hill and give yourself like a 25 feet or so putt.
Yeah, definitely better to be longer than shorter on this one.
I agree. So first up should be Tim. Would assume he's throwing a buzz.
Yeah, I'll leave him with like a
Circle's edge.
footer. Yeah.
Good shot. Next up we have Reid here. What are you throwing here, Reid?
Buzz SS.
Probably gotta guess that by how straight it went. Just past the basket. About 35 feet or so. There's me throwing a MD3. Scoots up next to the basket about 20 feet or so. And we got Dan here throwing a mid-range. Leaks a little bit left, but it's still a good shot. Circle's edge. So we got 4 nice shots, all safe.
Let's see if he can capitalize. He does. Beautiful jump putt.
I think that Stan's most comfortable spot is just outside the circle, so we can do a nice jump putt. We got Reid here, also with a nice putt.
Gotta love those Lunas. Tim Barham here lining up for the putt. He makes good on it. Very stoked. Well done.
All right, I'm putting for the 2 about 20 feet. It's a nice 2 to get. Get a star frame here. So 4 2s on the hole. Moving on to hole 11, par 3, 315 feet. Definitely one of the trickier holes here. We got a pond here right in front, and then it's kind of hard to see, but about 10 feet, 15 feet behind the basket is another pond. So a lot of the shots you'll see up and over this first tree that we just passed here with the camera, over to the left, hitting that hillside, trying to get a putt. This is definitely one of those holes where at 3 you're not losing too many strokes, and any shot that goes OB does proceed to the drop zone, which is about 70 feet or so.
Looks like Tim executes that shot perfectly. Let's see where it comes in at.
He's throwing a overstable fairway driver.
Looks like a Big Z force.
Great shot by Tim. You got Reid throwing a skip shot, as Reid does.
There.
Almost skips it in, actually. I think that stayed safe. Guess we'll see here in a second. Aren't you with that guy from Ledgestone?
Oh my gosh. I am.
Good shot there by Reid. Leaving him in the circle. Got the crew view there. Pretty nice feature. Got a Metal Flake MD3 here, and I was told prior to the hole that we're doing a long drive competition, so definitely got that one locked up.
Thank God it stays in bounds, though.
Should be an easy 3 from there. We got Dan going with the stag. Turnover shot, playing to the safe side. Drops down, should be an easy 3. He's throwing his gauntlet up shot. 10, 15 feet. Should par from there.
Did you have any look at the basket from here?
Kind of, but if I hit that tree, it's kicking OB, so I didn't want to mess with that. So I just played to the outside, take my par.
That's fair. Nice 2 by Tim. In Tim-like fashion.
Got Dan here for the 3. Yep, that'll work. Reid putting back at the basket for a 2. Dead center. Those are 2 real nice 2s on this hole. Oh.
That will happen.
And there I am tapping in for the 3. You can see you still have that same wristband on today, so it must be super durable.
I had more, but they all snapped on the other baskets, so.
All right, hole 12 here, par 3, 310 feet. Definitely plays a little bit more than that because of the uphill nature, but we're crossing over an OB pond to start off with, and we're going through this 10-foot gap or so. The play is to take a straight to stable fairway driver, play to that left side of the hill because it usually trickles down towards the basket. Anything right has a good chance to roll down to the bottom of the hill. So definitely one of the trickier holes on the course. Should have Tim up here first. Little right. I think it snuck through there actually though.
Yeah.
What are you throwing here, Reid?
I think it was an ESP Vulture, but...
Let's flip up. A little short, but hits the gap and he'll have a putt from there. Got a Star Thunderbird here. Just hitting that gap. Playing to the left side.
Oh, the pro roll to the basket.
Just as I planned.
That's the trickle you were talking about.
Yep. Got Dan here. Little right side, maybe taking Tim's route. Kicks a little left. Not too happy, but he should be able to 3 from there. Oh, a little closer than I thought. You might have a putt. does a smart thing and lays up the swan, I believe.
We got Tim here, trying to give her a nice run, just short.
He's gonna be tapping for a par. That's weird to say because I think he's buried the last like however many holes. Got Reid here for the 2. He was a little bit low, just outside the circle. Kind of an uphill putt too, so. There's Reid tapping in for the 3. Dan does the same.
Ah, what a gentleman.
Got a tap in 2 for myself. And Tim is gonna also tap in for the 3.
Yeah, that's definitely a good bonus hole to get, I'd say.
Oh, what is that?
Whoa.
Up close and personal Star Thunderbird with the Marwede stamp done by Sam Merdeza himself. What a view. That wraps up the first 12 holes.
Yeah, thanks guys for watching. Hope you join us for the last 8.
12. 24
12?
holes.
Oh, we'll go with it.
Close enough. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, Crew 42. We'll be back here in a second.